Sister down. What to do when a large person falls in a rural area. William Hovey Smith, 2020. I'm an author, and I have a number of outdoor books, as well as a useful business title. Create your own job security. Plan to start your own business at midlife. What this book advocates is that anyone at any age, in any place, start their own businesses when they need to raise a little cash, like many of us do right now. My newest book is a novel, Father of the Grooms, Murder, Marriage, and Mafia. In this book, an American family of Sicilian origin goes back to the home island and meets their mafia relatives and are made an offer that they cannot refuse.
This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. And Truck and I have just returned from a sister down rescue mission. My sister, who lives next door, fell in her backyard. She is a large woman, and neither me nor brother-in-law Charles could get her up. So we had to do a little engineering practice to get her on her feet again. And what it involved is the use of this tripod, here disassembled, my truck winch, some trampoline, and a good set of scissors. Basically, what we did was to move my tripod, which just very recently supported a turkey that I plucked and has helped numerous deer and wild hogs, etc., as I butchered them. Disassembled it, took it over, erected it over where she was, took the trampoline, cut it with these scissors in half at first, got it under her, then rigged a bosun seat of sorts with a rope and lifted her with the aid of the winch, got her on her feet in a chair, and from there she was able to navigate with ease of a cane. Fortunately, she suffered no serious injuries and was able to walk. Whoa. This had an excellent outcome, although it was a traumatic event for us all. Anytime an older person falls, particularly a large older person, it is a problem. And I was fortunate that I had everything together that I was able to help in a significant way. So what does this tell you that you need to have if you live in a rural area like I do? Well, first off, winches like this are extremely useful. I have 4 acres of yard I keep. It's bordered by woodlands. I have trees and limbs falling very commonly. And I use the winch to help me move and work out and burn up this fallen timber. That's its primary and most often use. I also use it to hoist game. I use it to pull weed trees. And only once, I believe, have I ever used it to get me unstuck. I have pulled some other people out, but for myself, only once, I think. Now you'll notice also it has a snatch block on it. This enables you to get a vertical pull, as was very useful here. So I was able to put the snatch box on the hook on the tripod there and use that to get a straight up lift. So we were able to stand her on her feet in this improvised bosun chair, and then actually I lifted her all the way off the ground and then set her back down again on her feet let her get those solidly planted, and then moved a chair under her so she could sit down.
This photo was taken after the event, and it shows Mary sitting on her seat and also still being contained in my improvised bosun chair. You see the tripod above. What you perhaps don't see is there is a rope going from the peak of the tripod behind my brother-in-law and connected to a golf cart, so the tripod was stable when I attempted to lift.
And once she was sitting, she could get up again and go about her business. Whew. And all this took far longer than one would think necessary. Probably an hour. What were the alternatives? Well, the obvious thing to do is call the EMTs. Well, the EMTs in Washington County, Georgia, have likely been handling coronavirus patients. It is hoped that, of course, they, of all people, are properly sanitized, etc., but that is not an absolute sure thing. If we could handle it between ourselves, then okay, that seemed to be the better option. Another thing is, if you haul the EMTs out here, what they're going to want to do is to take you to the hospital. And you do not want to go to the hospital in this era of coronavirus unless you absolutely have to. But they would want to take some x-rays or something, which were not necessary. Mary was fine, and so she was able to walk, and there was no reason for her to make a trip to the hospital. So that possibility was also removed. So in total, yeah, we did good. If you live out in the sticks like I do, I recommend small trucks like this one. I was able to get it back in her yard with a little difficulty because there are plantings and trees and satellite dishes and dog stuff and fences and so on and so on and so on to navigate, but the small truck did it. Also, the winch, again, is extremely useful. And whether you hunt or not, having a tripod around is a very, very useful thing. And I would recommend that you get one from Sportsman Guide or someplace like that, just to have it around as a useful object. Also, good scissors. And if you happen to see some trampoline cloth thrown out by the dumpster sometimes, and you will, salvage it. It's really good cloth, and it can be used for a lot of things. And as a hunter, I use it to replace the seats in my tree lounge tree stands. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.
I'm a former combat engineer officer who, as an exploration geologist, rigged hundreds of loads for helicopter transport of bush camps in Alaska. Now, I've also previously used this tripod to help move objects weighing up to 1,700 pounds, and I have previous videos about this use. Now, I was more interested in getting my sister comfortable as rapidly as possible than making a video. Not shown was that the tripod was dead-manned off to a golf cart to help support the tripod and keep it from tipping. Now, items needed for this operation were the truck and winch, pliers, scissors, trampoline tarp, rope, and the golf cart. Also significant was a degree of patience that was needed by all. Now, we were very lucky in that this was in daylight, the weather was nice, and the event occurred where I could get my truck close enough to rig the winch. I'm going to modify this by sewing in lift points on the tail that went between the legs, so next time it's used, there's a positive means of cinching up the seat. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 800 videos, go to my website, www.hoviesmith.com. To find out more about my Father of the Grooms book, screenplay, and movie project, go to fatherofthegrooms.net. I have an ongoing Kickstarter project to raise money to finance the production of the screenplay, and this is going to expire on May the 15th, and contributions are most welcome. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.